Okay, a very warm welcome to all of you to this exciting, timely webinar, Reclaim Your Time with AI Auto Grading, which is brought to you by Assessfy in collaboration with Aegis School of Data Science, MUNI Campus, and Aegis Gramble Award, with Siegel as our campus recruitment partner. I am Anita Ram, one of the directors at Assessfy. As an educators, we understand how much time and efforts is going into grading assessment. With AI stepping into the world of education, it's now possible to transform the traditional assessments into active learning tools, which saves time and drive better outcomes. That's exactly what today's session would be all about. So we have an incredible panelist here with us today who have honored the event. So let me quickly introduce all our panelists for today. So we have Mrs. Devika Chatterjee, the Director Principal
Audio
at
on.
JB.
Yes, no, I can.
Uh, Mrs. Devika Chatterjee, Director Principal, JBC and International School. We welcome you, ma'am. We have Dr. Seema Tatwawadi, Principal, Russell Square International School with us. Welcome you, ma'am. We have soon, I believe, Mrs. Vandana Saxena would be joining Principal, Learning Path Schools. We have Dr. Pratibha Kohli, Principal, Maharaja Agrasen Model School. We welcome you, ma'am. We will also have Dr. Doreen Robin, Director, Computational Intelligence Research Foundation with us. Ms. Kirti Dandan, Principal, St. Xavier's High School. Dr. Annabelle Villamari, Principal, Lancers International School. And this panel would be moderated by Mr. Bhupesh Deria, who's the education futurist, CEO of Aegis School of Data Science, and the founder of Assessfy Learning Innovations Private Limited. So, moving ahead, what I'll do is I'll quickly give a brief introduction about what Assessfy is, what Assessfy platform exactly does, and then we'll move forward to today's panel discussion, which would be moderated by Mr. Deria. So, I'll quickly share my screen. Praveen, if you can stop your screen. Yeah, thank you. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Anita.
So based on our conversation over the years, what we've understood that educators and the teachers across the globe, be it in K-12 segment or higher education, what we have observed that educators around the globe spend 20% to 60% of their time in designing the assessment and evaluating them. But despite this fact, they spend so much time into assessment and evaluation process, still majority of the students are not getting the mastery, or maybe, they are not that confident when what they really want, or they are not getting the hold of that subject. Therefore, we come to a solution with a platform called as Assessfy AI that helps in enhanced learning outcome with automated evaluation and personalized feedback, that provides personalized feedback which supports the student and the educators, which can be done in different formats, right from handwritten assessment, digital assessment, or oral assessment. This platform can be used by the educators and the academicians in manual mode, co-pilot mode, or autopilot modes, and can be used across all domains and subjects. This is a short video. I would just try to play it if it works. Please let me know if it is working.
No, ma'am, the voice is not audible.
Okay. So I'll just move next. So introduction to Assessfy. Okay. So Assessfy is nothing but it helps in turning the assessment into learning tool. Like it's a AI powered platform that helps providing instant feedback to the students, to the learners, which helps them to learn from every assessment what they are appearing for. Comprehensive coverage, as I said, the platform supports a wide range of assessment types, right from handwritten assessment to digital to oral across all subjects, all domains. And the platform supports efficient grading, so it helps a lot of freeing time for faculties where auto evaluation can really happen, and faculties can really take the platform into co-pilot mode by really referring the assessment done by the system, which will free up a lot of their time for engaging into designing the question paper and other activities. Challenges in traditional assessment, we all are really aware of a lot of challenges, lack of meaningful feedback and explainability when it comes to traditional assessment. Depending on the batch size and the lot of students, what have every faculty has a limitation when it comes to giving them the feedback or the explainability when it comes to evaluating their paper, and it really doesn't give that much of understanding to the student about their weaknesses and strength, what they are doing and how they are really are preparing or where they stand. Limited development of higher cognitive capabilities. Yes, assessment prioritize, it has the process what the student really follow is just a memorization, and it does give only basic knowledge to them, but doesn't take him through that critical thinking process where a lot of problem solving and creative approach is really required. So yes, it has a limited capabilities to develop the cognitive capabilities of the students. Ineffective use of assessment as a learning tool. So a lot of we all know the assessment is a practice. It is only done for the process of evaluating the student without any deep meaning to it. Limited practice, yes, because there's a lot of process and time involved when it comes to conduction of assessment, right from designing the paper to evaluating it and giving the feedback. So limited assessment is taken, conducted so that this time is devoted somewhere else. Lack of feedback, yes, so like I mentioned, giving feedback to the student after every assessment or test or class test, it's literally difficult. It takes a lot of time, so it is again a challenge and limitation. Likewise, couple of limitations what I've covered. Challenges in manual evaluation. Yes, it is a time-consuming process, as I said. There's a lot of inconsistent feedback when it comes to evaluating subjective evaluation, going through every question and answer in depth and providing them with the feedback is a challenge when it comes to a huge and large batch size. So limited scalability, that's the issue. So Assessfy AI, yes, it supports different type of assessment. Like I said, handwritten assessment, which is again in a pen paper format where students can really write their answer sheet, our exams in pen paper format and answer sheet, upload it, and then it can be evaluated. Digital type of assessments, which could be in Word document, PDF, text editors, and then it could be evaluated. And of course, oral assessment, where the students' answers are recorded and the responses are actually in audio format, which is then converted into text, and that text is evaluated through our system, and then that could be evaluated. As I said, it supports all domains, all courses, right from mathematics, coding, history, humanities, technology, engineering. Like we said, we also support higher education and also project-based learning. So this platform also supports project-based learning. So projects can also be conducted through this. Moving ahead, like we said, we support three different type of modes. Platform can be completely used for evaluating the student in manual mode, where the platform could be used to conduct an assessment, but faculties can then use the manual mode to evaluate it. Autopilot mode, where everything can be done in an auto mode, where auto evaluation is happening. But the most popular mode is co-pilot mode, where the evaluation is done through the system and faculties are actually following every process, and if there is requirement of any intervention is really required from the faculty side to really overview any feedback or work on the gradings, it could be done. And not only that, the platform also supports lot of it gives a lot of actionable insights and reports to the faculty members, to the academicians, where they can really take advantage of this platform for data driven decisions, where it provides with a lot of reports to make them understand about how the students performance is. Then it supports for accreditation. So platform has a detailed assessment data that record facilitate seamless compliances with accreditation requirements. So you can take this reports for any accreditation approval and continuous improvement, of course. We also support transform. I mean, the platform, Assessfy platform, also has a project-based learning, one of its kind of solution to it. So yes, transforming project-based learning and evaluation with Assessfy AI. So it has a lot of support features into it, right from smart project allocation, end-to-end workflow management, project idea bank, then customizable rubrics into it, so you can set up the milestone for the project when you use the PBL through Assessfy AI. Flexible evaluation options are available, continuous feedback on the progress of the students when they go for the project work, and then evaluator assignment. So this is something which is uh, uh, quite supportive for the project-based learning for the students as well as for the faculties. Key programs in the areas which is covered under PBL is right from computer science to artificial intelligence to all different fields and departments of engineering. It also supports any kind of MBA projects, HR, finance. You name any subject, and PBL can really help there. So couple of comparison, there are a couple of list of features what Assessfy can really support compared to the traditional platforms and our competitors, so that we have uh, listed here. Um, so yes, of course, PBLs, the advantages of Assessfy, there is like it saves up to 50% of the time. It is when it comes to fairness and evaluation, it is 90% consistent, and it helps in providing the feedback in more detailed fashion to the students. This is our team. This is all from my side, where you can get in touch with our team. Myself, Anita, Eddie, who is based in US, so he takes care of US region, and Catherine for anybody from Europe or Middle East region. Uh, Moving ahead, I also have uh, uh, one of the options for all the educators and academicians who have joined us here today. There's an educator empowerment program for auto grading, what we have really here to give to all the academicians. So this educators empowerment program can really help the faculty members. They can join this program. We'll soon circulate the one of the forms in the chat box, and I would request you all to fill that. It's a complimentary access what we are providing for faculty members, where they can use this platform, where they can take the benefit out of it, right from auto grading in copilot mode to give the use the personalized feedback mechanism, enhance the learning outcome, use the complete SSY platform for around one semester of their uh, coming academic year. And there's no commercial involved there. And the faculties can really register with us and start using it. So our credentials are here. You can connect with us in case if you feel any of the educators who wants to really associate with us. With this, I would hand over to Mr. Deria to start with the panel discussion. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you so much for setting up the context for this panel discussion. And I'm Bhupesh Daharia. I'm a CEO of Aegis School of Data Science and trustee of Aegis Knowledge Trust. And just like all of you, I am also a teacher. I teach machine learning, deep learning. I have over 30 years experience and I have developed a lot of technology. And the recent one is, of course, Assessfy based on my extensive experience of decades. So as a teacher, I have always been dreaming that can we really automate something? So technology has really influenced almost all aspects of teaching, right? But somehow technology could not really evaluate the descriptive answers of cases or oral because there are a lot of subjectivity which is involved. And I think the recent development which has happened in artificial intelligence in some areas, though it seems artificial, but this is a like aggregation of human intelligence. It has really surpassed in some areas, not all areas. Typically in image recognition, the human accuracy level. And we developed this platform, and I think a lot of institutions are benefiting out of this. We thought of organizing this panel discussion wherein we want to really create awareness that how AI can help faculty members to really streamline their life, how it can really augment their capability. And while discussing with hundreds of faculties across the world, we realize that most of the faculty, they typically spend roughly around one-fourth to typically two-thirds of their time in terms of assessment, which is pretty huge. Not that I am in favor of really outsourcing all the assessment to the AI, But we did some analysis and we realized that typically if 1/3 of the time faculty is devoting on the grading, this typically spends almost more than 500 hours a year. And if 50% of the grading can be automated, roughly around 250 hours can be really saved. And for 100 faculty members, roughly around 25,000 faculty hours can be saved for a school, which I think is a huge saving, which they can really utilize in some other areas. So I extend very warm welcome to all of you for this fantastic panel discussion, and we have such an amazing lineup of panelists over here with us: Dr. Robin, Devika ji, Dr. Pratibha, Dr. Seema, Dr. Annabelle, right, and wonderful audience from across the world. So let's take a deep dive into this panel and let's hear from our experts, teachers from across the country, that what are their thoughts, what are their views, what are their ground level reality. We can recreate any solution sitting in the lab, but the real issue is implementation, right? So we would like to really hear from you. Starting with you, Devika ji, you have several years of experience on ground dealing with the students, running such a incredible institution. We would like to hear your thoughts. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. And in spite of the many years of experience, I think I am a novice as far as this beautiful world of AI is concerned. So we all started the journey together, and we are all very, very enthusiastic about the next steps as far as AI is concerned. My first the biggest excitement came in when I realized the amount of time that the teachers will save if we start using AI the way we want to. However, as teachers, we are very, very territorial. We don't want to give up our children.
Yes.
We don't want to give up assessment, because all of us truly believe in not assessment of learning. I'm not bothered about that. So thinking about assessment for learning, and that is the area which brings a huge amount of excitement, because I realize that the regular questions where the teachers just want to find out whether the children have understood the concepts or not, that is the area where AI can really help. And it can be of great use, because then the teachers quickly understand where the learners are, where individual learners are, which is the one area where they can do a little more as far as their sessions are concerned. At the moment, I still think that the subjective questions, the higher order thinking skills, the areas where there is creativity involved, where there is a lot of learner understanding is concerned, I still think teachers need to step into that part of assessment. I don't know where AI is going. AI is growing and learning at a very fast pace. At the moment, being a teacher and understanding the way children learn, I think a hybrid model would be the best thing to explore, where we use AI to do all the drudge work, and then we get a lot more time to spend with our learners, figure out where each one is moving. Another area of excitement for us as a school is the fact that we have started doing a huge amount of data-driven analysis of learner, I would say, for individual learners' academic journey. And that data is huge. If I want to track every child's learning journey from 1 year to the next for each and every subject across grades, then all my teachers definitely need help. And that help can be of great use, because then I understand where to tweak, where to add, which are the resources. Even when it comes to getting resources for the next academic year, I know that my resource budget needs to move into this direction, because the data is showing me that this is the journey that my school and my learners are taking. I think there is a lot to explore, and there is a lot of excitement towards this. We have started with trainings, and all of us have started together. Let's hope we move forward and use this tool in the best possible manner. Thank you very much. It's very interesting discussion ahead. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody.
No, glad to hear your open-mindedness in terms of really embracing the AI, and glad to see that yes, you're taking a lot of data-driven decisions, which is a corporate buzzword, but glad to see that it is really populating at the K-12 level. And of course, yes, AI has not reached to a level wherein it can really do a lot of stuff which humans are capable. Specifically, emotions is not only about grading; it is basically tapping the back. And I think robots are not efficient to really have the back of the student. So there are a lot of intricacies are there. And you rightly said that hybrid model, which Satya Nadella coined a right word, which is co-pilot mode, is the right way wherein human in the loop will be the perfect model, and that's what we are suggesting to everybody. Don't really offload all your cognitive functions to the AI. You have to be in the loop as well, and you can really do a lot of routine assignments to AI. Now, coming to you, Dr. Pratibha, now you have heard Deepika ji, right? What is your take on this overall theme?
Uh, Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for making me a part of this panel. It is really a very interesting title that we have given to this panel discussion because the buzzword around AI is going on so much. And of course, education cannot be left behind. And
Right.
we are talking of assessments. So, of course, teachers are using AI for lesson plans, teachers are using AI for projects, and they get a variety of answers, and it really enhances their teaching learning strategies. But here we are talking of assessments using artificial intelligence. So, undoubtedly, the machines or the artificial intelligence would bring in unbiased evaluation, because somewhere the halo effect, which is teachers have a particular mindset about a particular student, so that would be done away with once we have AI. And AI would definitely bring it unbiased evaluation. It would bring in more consistency in terms of the right type of answers getting the same marks. Of course, it would bring in enhanced efficiency among the educators, because as you said, the educators are spending a lot of time doing evaluations, and sometimes it can be mind boggling, tiring to be reading answers after answers and giving them marks. So it can be a humongous task for the teachers, given the number of students we have in a classroom, where we have 40 or more children sitting in a classroom. We have 100 marks question paper and asking the teacher to evaluate in a limited time frame. It can be a very challenging and humongous task. So definitely we should use AI. Definitely we should explore AI, but we also have to keep in mind that whether AI will be able to find out about the extra little creative effort that a student has and has put in the answers. So, is AI going to look into that and give that extra credit to a student? And of course, there may be hidden emotions in the answers. There may be higher order thinking skills questions. So uh, definitely the work has begun, but then I think we are miles to go in terms of incorporating AI in our schools in a regular manner. So I welcome this talk, I welcome this discussion. It is going to be an eye opener for all of us, and I'm looking forward to everybody's views on this. Thank you, sir.
No, so rightly said, Dr. Pratibha, that yes, you have echoed the point of Devika ji as well, that yes, not all area we can really use AI, but while there is too much of responsibility on teachers' shoulders, the number of students are growing, resources are really reducing, there is a constraint, there are hundreds of regulations, right? There is a whole wave of new wave coming in terms of outcome-based education based on the NEP, right? So the vision is a grand. But any grand vision is as good as a daydreaming until unless we don't have very strong operating model. And this operating model, the pillars is basically human being, people, process, and the technology. You can't expect somebody to really travel from Chennai to Delhi in 2 hours with using the bicycle or maybe a bike or a car. You need a plane. So while we have to really increase the higher cognitive capability and learning outcome, we need technology which can really embed this grand vision, the process embedded into this, and which can augment the capability of administrators, teachers on the ground, and the student as well, likewise. And that's how we can really prepare for the next generation of youth, which will be able to really work in the dynamic technology area. No. Dr. Seema, over to you. What are the typical challenges you see on the ground while faculties are evaluating manually different kinds of assignments, multiple choice questions, formative, summative, right? Now you have to really measure the learning outcome. Which are the key areas where you find there is a bottleneck, which perhaps technology and AI can facilitate? Making the teacher's life much better and smoother.
Yeah, at the outset, I would like to thank Bhupesh and entire team of Assessfy for inviting me to be part of this panel discussion, which is very important and timely conversation. I think I may be the senior most age-wise amongst all of you, so I have witnessed the evolution of education sector from blackboard and chalk to smart boards,
Right,
and from manual typewriters and to AI-powered tools and cloud-based systems. So I confidently say that the pace of change has been phenomenal. This
right,
journey has made one thing very clear, that adaptability and openness to learning technology are no longer optional, but they
right,
are essential for everyone who is part of education industry.
right,
And like in today's education landscape has changed. I think I'm the only one who is from the college background. I am not from school
mm,
background. I am heading a
right,
this college, and the education system in college and school is very, very different. But
right,
since this is the education sector, so we can talk about this. So like today, school teachers, they are expected to teach, and they have several other responsibilities. They are mentors, they are emotional support providers, they are data analysts. They are communicating to the parents of the students, reporting to seniors, and there's tremendous administrative task. And to
right,
be honest, most of this is they are doing without any formal training. And the research shows that teachers spend minimum 6 to 10 hours per week in just grading, and
right,
constantly juggling between teaching and evaluating multiple other responsibilities. So
mm,
this one beautiful quote that which says the greatest gift you can give to anyone is your time. Unquote.
right,
So this is exactly where AI-based auto grading system can be transformative. They are not just about saving time, it is about reclaiming time. So teachers
very
can
true.
use this time and energy towards human connection, creativity, and impactful learning. AI can offer immediate structured feedback. Like you said, co-pilot model, I found this model is the best model where AI can do the assessment task, but the giving feedback to the students with proper communication, using emotional nuances, encouragement, and motivational words, which are very, very important. And there's no algorithm can replicate these inspirational words spoken by the teachers. AI assessment tool can help in saving time, which can be actually used for providing personalized feedback, spending more time with students. And since I'm from psychology background, I feel this human connection, spending more time, explaining everything in person to the student is very, very helpful in today's generation, where students are also very emotionally disturbed, and they have very brief attention span. In this scenario, when teachers can coordinate with them, talk to them, spend more time with them, I think it will be very, very useful. And this AI can actually, it can complement but cannot replace the teachers.
Very true.
So yeah, as we move forward, we can find better answers and replies from all the school teachers and panel members and principals, so which can actually uh, open the new perspective of the entire discussion.
Very true. Very true. Thank you. Thank you so much for your insights. And in fact, this AI people are using not only in K-12, but they're using in higher education as well for
Okay.
improving and measuring the learning outcome. Because measuring is pretty old phenomena, but now
Yeah,
the
yeah,
new
yeah.
phenomena is we have to really see from the positive point of view of continuously improving the learning outcome. So they are constantly using several universities across the world, they have started using it. And you
Yeah, yeah.
rightly said that yes, that time which faculty will be able to save, they can really start giving the personal attention to kids they need, right? Emotional support and various
Emotions.
other supports, and they can really implementing the various learning interventions based on the data uh, which Devika ji has pointed out. That yes, we are collecting the data, but we don't have time to really implement those strategies on the ground. Now, Dr. Annabelle, one of the most important thing which Dr. Seema also pointed out is providing the feedback, right? And typically, what we have observed in this part of the world, we don't give structured feedback. My teachers always, or including myself, we can only give uh, maybe half an hour or 2 hour gyan to a student, right? A continuous gyan, which is subjective, right? But we do not typically give objective feedback, pointer feedback, point one, two, three, four. This is what you have done good. This is what you have not done good, which is typically a Western phenomena. And one of the major reason what we have observed that yes, logistically it is very difficult. So, in your view, since you're dealing at a primary education, how important is providing the real-time feedback or near real-time feedback? How it aids into the learning?
Thank you
Your
so much,
views.
Babesh. And I want to thank Assessfy, Miss Anita Ram, for inviting me to speak with everyone here about my experience as a primary school educator. I've been teaching since 1999, and I have been enjoying, the journey of K to 12 in primary school education. I really enjoy working with very young minds, and many people would say that they're empty vessels that they have to be filled, which is unfortunately not true. They're actually very intelligent and highly enthusiastic learners. And I do think that we have to change our mindset with regards to listening to our students. When I talk about feedback, I don't talk about the teachers giving feedback only. I talk also about students providing their own feedback for themselves. We call it self-assessment. We are fortunate to be able to really allow the children to through play-based, inquiry-based, and problem-based learning engagements to talk about their learning with the teacher. And with that, we are able to collect feedback from the students. We're able to also share our thinking, but we try as much as we can, at least I promote this for my primary school teachers, try not to put yourself too much or too strongly for the students, because they create they're very impressionable. So they create an image of themselves right away because they listen to the teachers almost all the time in primary school. And like I'm sure with my colleagues who are in the upper grades and in university, they tend to have their own perspective already. And when a teacher talks to them, they tend to have a debate in their mind which one they want to follow. But in primary school, they listen and they tend to believe that fully. And there's a research on that. Of course, you can go ahead and have a look at that research. But for me, because of that belief, we have to be very careful in providing our feedback to the students. And for us, at least for my experience, I like that the children come up with the assessment through the nudging of data, which is something that they can see in front of them, that they can read. And you mentioned something about ticking and all of that. They can't read that very, very well yet. But they have to have a conversation with the teacher, what is correct, what's not correct. We have something called co-construction of assessment with the students. Now, many schools would not allow their kids to even tell them what is the best, product for this task. But if we just spend time, and I like that Assessfy will be able to allow us to spend more time on our students, if we are going to sit down with the kids and ask them, okay, if I'm going to look for the best work, what would it look like? And when the kids come up with ideas and a teacher co-construct the assessment with the students, the feedback comes naturally to them, because while they are doing the work, they're already doing their self-regulation. So it goes hand in hand. If they know that the teacher is looking for this, if they know the teacher is looking for, let's talk about the primary school example, different colors. Let's just give a very simple example. If the teacher or the school, or sorry, the class agreed to have different colors in the project, the kids would already self-assess. They would already start thinking, oh, we have to add more colors into this, because remember, this is what we were looking for. So I do believe that assessment should be co-constructed. And I do believe that if there's an opportunity for us to be able to also feed that data point into the AI, that these are the things that the children were able to look for, that the conversation and the engagement will be much more for at least the younger ones. I also feel that data should also allow for the children to design their way forward. Again, they're the ones that will be deciding what will be the next steps for them. So I really want to see something that will allow the children to read it and say, oh, this is a suggestion for me. It may not come from Miss Annabelle. It will come from AI, and I'll go ahead and proceed with it. And I know I've got kindergarten kids, grade 1 and 2 kids, who maybe they may not be able to read fully, can actually understand the feedback very well. But you're right, it has to be right away. So a child will always face so many different teachers throughout the day, so many friends, so many things in their minds, and they will tend to forget. But I think it has to be right away so that they can make progress as well as soon as they can.
No, you're right. Like, feedback is very important, but at the same time, logistically, it's not possible to give the feedback immediately near real time or real time, because we have a lot of students, right? There are a lot of workload.
And I think that is where I think Assessfy comes in, because if the children can access the data on their own, because I think we're thinking about one person giving the feedback to everybody. We will never have the time for all of that. But if it is accessible to every student, they'll get it right away. And I think that is where Assessfy comes and helps.
In higher education, let's example, in our school of data science, senior faculty, they have typically 4 to 5 TAs, which typically a phenomena in all Western universities. Any senior faculty has 4 or 5 or 10 TAs, depending on the class size. Now, I think K-12 does not have that kind of luxury, right? So, and it costs as well. But despite of the fact that you also have 4 or 5 TAs, still it takes a minimum a week's time to really give them the grades.
That's very true. That's very true.
What I have been able to really observe for last 1.5 years, most of my assignments is being graded by AI, Assessfy. And Assessfy is able to really give the feedback, not very complicated project, but routine code, right? And other areas which are routine, and it is doing a fairly good job. Of course, it has not reached to human level excellence, but at least earlier nobody was giving them the objective feedback. Now they have the feedback. And now they can really get the immediate grading, right? Because in real life, if you ask me question now, and if I say, okay, Dr. Annabelle, hold down, I'll send you a reply after a week. No, within a week, you will even forget the question. So we learn in a dynamic world. We ask the question, we respond, and then that's how we really learn. Dr. Robin, since you are a AI and machine learning expert, that's what I read. Now, would you like to really enlighten the audience that how AI is able to do this kind of complicated job of like a grading or maybe providing the feedback? How this magic happens, perhaps in a layman's language, or any other point which you would like to really add?
Thank you, Mr. Bhupesh, for inviting me and Anita and the team. So happy to connect it with the educationalists, right? And I'm like two sides of the coin, right? For past 10 years, I was working for engineering colleges as a professor, From 17, I started working. I'm basically a data scientist where we work on research, development, education, and training. I always say this quote by George: technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. Yes,
Right.
like AI can do many things, right? We can,
Mhm.
like, what people are now, when I'm also connected with the K to 12 school that we deal with students, right? If a student is given assignment, then latest scenario is they go ask any Gen AI tool to give them the response. And I was asking
Mhm.
a student last week, right? Why is that? You go and ask that. They said each student it gives a different answer. This is the perception.
Mhm.
But grading is something, whenever I take sessions for faculties on training, one thing I ask, what is one task that you find is very difficult? Everybody says we have passion of teaching, we have to equip students, but when it comes to grading, there's always a challenge because you need to correct and you have to give feedback, and it is a long process. But using AI is like going at the speed of light. You all know about it, right? You can use AI tools, and especially when Anita was presenting it, it was so awesome. Whatever we think in the mind, it's on the product. Right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I work with schools, I work with colleges, so I was seeing what are the functionalities providing. It's really awesome. It will take a lot of time to build the product like this, and it is going to be very, very useful for all educators, right from K to 12, and for the any kind of colleges that they use it. But one thing that we need to underline, I see always education or teaching is between the student, a teacher, and the process. It's like a triangular connection. The process in which that you're going to handle this is going to be very, very transformational to the students. Grading, like as one of the principals said, right? Grading 45 students, it takes time. But I can say using the AI, it can do the first level of grading and the feedback, and the next could be more personal with the students, which reduces the time of the teacher. By binding with the students, I don't find a major difference between 8 to 12 and the college students, right? Because
Okay.
a human touch is very, very important, but it increases it reduces the timing. Right, during pandemic, I started my first online session in 2017 to a university in Delhi, right? And I started training or evangelizing about the Google Classroom, Google Meet in 2000,
Mhm.
and people were not so much welcoming. In a conference in Asia, throughout all faculties were there. They said it is good, but it cannot replace the chalk and talk and what we do. But when pandemic hit, everybody we moved to online, and it has given an outcome. And during pandemic, I've trained more than 8,000 faculties around the world
Mhm.
how to use digital tools to teach, because there is
Right.
say this called expect the unexpected, right? AI is a tool, and Assessfy has come out with a very, very beautiful tool, but how you put that into a process, and I can say if it has been effectively implemented. But teachers also cannot take things for granted. It does the
Right.
feedback and it reduces maybe. No, it cannot be. And if they work for grading like 80%, they need to work more than like 100% in giving real feedback, because it is doing the first level of process. Even when we do like AI tools for healthcare, first the AI tools does the after the scanning, it gives the report, but it is who the doctor who personally evaluates and tells this is what the disease you can fear, it is not to be feared. All right, same thing applies to them. So when there is more connection with the faculties to the students on this, it reduces the time, but it gives a space for the faculties to more equip the students even more better in giving the good outcomes of the learning process.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm circling back to Devika ji. Uh, you are there, Devika ji? Yeah. So, while I think it seems that I'm really glad to see that everybody is excited about this using AI for grading. But don't you see that if we really use AI for auto grading, isn't true that we are trying to really outsource our cognitive stuff to AI? And if it happens, then what faculty will do?
Like I said earlier,
Mm.
uh, grading that you're talking about, I would rather do the regular grading by AI. For example, certain things like
Right.
the multiplication tables, for example, if
Right.
multiplied by 2 is equal to 4, I think we can leave those sort of questions to AI. However, there is something that is testing higher levels of understanding, the higher order thinking skills. I think the teacher needs to intervene because there is the space for the teacher and the learner connection. And that is where the whole conversation of moving the learner from one level of understanding to the next comes in. We need the base. All of us know about the pyramid, and all of us
Right.
understand that the base is essential. However,
Right.
moving from one level to the next is the task of the teacher. AI is just helping us to make it a little easy because we do understand the day-to-day involves a lot of drudgery. And if that drudgery can be taken care by AI, then the teachers can sit and have those one-on-one conversations. They can make time to understand, all right, this child will learn best if I try to gamify my assessment. And the other one will probably learn best if I want to sit and do something and design some hands-on activities. And that is the time that we crave for. As teachers, each one of us wants to do something more, and we have identified whether it is 30 children in a class or it's 40 in another one. Each teacher knows the learners and the needs of the learners. It's just that AI is going to give us that extra bit of time that we all need in order to design the next level of learning for each one of them. The individualized mode of learning, the one-on-one conversations, which will move a learner from one level of competency to the next is what I am looking for.
No, wonderful, very pragmatic thoughts. Dr. Pratibha, over to you. So there is a lot of push now from the government, and say Parak is also trying to really move on measuring learning outcome and improving the higher cognitive capability. Right? All this while perhaps all of us, we are product of objective-based education, where typically we used to ask questions on lower cognitive capability, more on memorization. Now, since we are moving to this paradigm of outcome-based education, what kind of challenges you as an administrator facing and on the ground teachers are facing, and how perhaps AI can really help in augmenting the teacher's capabilities?
Thank you for the question. So I feel that AI is going to give us results much faster, quicker than what the teachers do. So, there are times when we need to wait for a result to come up and then analyze, and by the time we are already on to the next chapter. So, AI is going to do us faster for us, where we can come back to the topic or to the chapter and see really where to improve the learning outcomes. So if I'm teaching addition and by the time I get the results, I'm already teaching multiplication. So I would really appreciate if I get the results faster. And I hope definitely AI will help us in that. However, uh, I have my doubts about creativity, because when we talk of creativity, when we talk of extrapolating the answers, so there can be a variety of answers that the students would give. And after all, AI is a type of machine, let's say, in layman terms. So, the variety of creativity that one would get from the children, is it going to measure that in terms of numbers, or some particular answers, yes, this is more creative and this is less creative? Then I feel that when we use AI and when we use any type of technology, there are lots of privacy issues involved, especially when we are talking of larger numbers. So, we hear so much about, scams and also, as children, we need to protect their privacy also. So I have those concerns also in my mind. And of course, uh, when we prepare questions, it is going to help us in personalized assessments also. We talk of personalized learning, but now there are times of personalized assessments. So there may be children who may have specific learning disorders, and I would like to assess them in a particular manner. So I'm sure AI will help us in that, but to what extent? Uh, I have my apprehensions on that. So every time an intervention by the teacher is going to be very, very important, very imperative. So I think, we have to go hand in hand with technology. We can't leave technology behind, but of course, we can't leave it altogether. And we need to have technology as a good, trusted friend, and use it, and not make it our master, but rather make technology as a slave, where we make technology do the work, but we are still the masters. So that is what I feel. Thank you so much.
Very true. The human has to be in the loop, right?
Yes.
The technology should help us to really aid rather than sitting on our head and becoming a master. Very true thing. But you have also pointed out very important thing, which is privacy and security, and that is one of the major bottleneck in terms of really rolling out in the ground, right? And that is one of the, so other than the resistance from the faculty, which I see that yes, they are embracing this idea, but one of the most important is privacy. And that is where we have done a lot of work. So we have complied to GDPR. We do not really pass any personalized data. We pass all anonymized data, right? So the AI model does not know whose answer this they are actually checking. Just like typically in various universities, you actually cover the student name, right? So that students do not really bring their bias looking at their name and surnames. Likewise, we are not actually passing that any kind of personal identifier data to really AI. And the other guardrails we are actually telling, which you also pointed out, and Deepika ji also pointed out, is bringing the human in loop, right? So we are saying use it as a co-pilot. Don't think that it will really offload your 100% workload. Be pragmatic. Use it to reduce down your workload by 50% or 60%, which is a huge, right? Which can save roughly around 250 hours to 400 hours per year, which is a massive time. And that time you can really use in terms of really designing better lessons, designing better projects, giving them the personal attention, reading through the various data reports, learning outcome reports, right? All different kind of stuff you can really do. Uh, now, since we are closing towards our closing time, and after that, Purvesh will really walk us through the magic of AI, how the AI actually evaluates. So, within the next 2 minutes, I would like to really ask question to Dr. Annabelle that, in your view, what are the typical? Imagine that tomorrow you have to really roll out uh, assessment, auto grading assessment in your school, right? What are the key things in your mind which you would like to really put as a guardrail, right? To protect the student interest and the school's interest and your interest.
You've already introduced that, Mr. Bhupesh, with regards to data and security of student data specifically. I do believe that we are responsible in making sure that is at the forefront of whatever we do, whether it's social media or anything, especially in sharing the content from our data points. But I do feel that once we have that in place, and I'm sure many providers will have to discuss that with the schools, I have to be convinced that at least my students' data is number one, their priority, especially with regards to safety. That's all there. I also want to make sure that they understand the value of data ethics. There's a big discussion with regards to AI ethics. privacy issues and regulation, especially since the government has not actually given us any directive or standard just to implement the AI in our school. So that is really one discussion that we have to have. Many people actually want to jump into it, but they really have to consider the ethics that goes beyond decision making, especially in using student data. Training will have to be there for my teachers, definitely. A huge, lengthy discussion on what are the data points that you have to input, what would allow you for a 360 observation or a 360 data point, what would be the things that you have to input. Of course, it's not just assessing, they're also keeping the data. They're also looking at back history of student performance and then informing the next steps for the students. That should also be an active element. For me as a teacher, I'm fortunate to be able to do a research on the readiness of teachers in North Indian schools. There are 3 areas, basically the knowledge. Many teachers still do not know what to do. Second, the attitude. They do think that it is new and it's better to always go back to the traditional ways. We know this during the pandemic when almost 50% of our teachers left education because they couldn't migrate to online learning. And it is a sad reality for us educators because many of our highly experienced teachers left the profession because of the technology that has come their way overnight because of the pandemic. I still want to hear their stories, but they couldn't come back to teaching because they're scared. That's just the normal attitude of teachers. And finally, the skills. They really need to know what are the skills required to implement all of this. So those are the 3 data points of my research with regards to AI readiness of teachers, at least in North India. I'm very, very fortunate to have so many teachers around the region sharing their thinking with regards to this research. So I really want to make sure that we also safeguard the teachers' knowledge, attitudes, and skills in the implementation of AI.
No, very true, very true. The teacher training and their readiness is one of the most important things because at the end of the day, we are trying to really empower them. And with this tool, they will really eventually help improving the learning outcome. One of the major area of concern is basically, so if a teacher is doing the assessment, right, for let's say a decade or 2 decades, now most of the questions are already out. And the new coming student, they typically know what kind of questions the teacher is going to really ask. And unfortunately, then these summative assessments typically becomes formality because your test papers are already out. One of my mentor, Dr. Gangopadhyay, he always tells, teacher is not known or respected by how he teaches. That's one point. A teacher is respected more by the kind of questions he asks because that actually helps in aiding the learning. Now over to you, Dr. Seema, for last point, that how AI can really help teachers in terms of really creating new kind of assessment, new kind of question items, which can in truly sense improve the cognitive capability beyond just rote learning and understanding and routine application, more on evaluation and creation or those kind of stuff in Bloom's hierarchy. Over to you.
Yeah, see, this is very, very important thing because you said ki how creatively they can design questions. But
Yes,
my problem here is, my point is that students are also equally smart. So
right.
like when we are designing question, they know how to write it and what to do it. And I was amazed to see the use of AI in the classroom, although in our program, exams are conducted by University of London. Our all courses are in the University of London. But we give them mock test, mock examination. And they have some project work also, which comes from UK only, and they have to write. So within just 5 minutes, when first time they gave us the entire project ready, we were shocked as a teachers, how they use and so many things and with proper logo designing. It was a lengthy project with PPT, and then I said it's time to learn from them. As a teacher, we have to learn from them. This is now the irony is that. But still, teachers can use their creativity And I feel
Okay.
that since we are from the background, we have been using our cognitive skills, not only with the from memory, but we are reasoning, logic, all these faculties of the brain we are using.
Mhm.
So we are better equipped to design questions. And we can design questions in different format and give it to AI to design it again at their point of view in that question. This is how we can do it. But
Wonderful.
I should say the students in this generation is very, very smart technologically. Technologically, when it comes to
Mhm.
concentration and other psychological issues, they are quite weak.
Mhm.
See, students are coming to us when they're 12th pass, so they're from school to they're coming here. So we know that the kind of process they have gone through. But this technology is making things smarter every day. But still, we want the teacher's intervention in develop how to make them sit and read, develop concentration, whatever online reading and Kindle, whatever is there. But I feel the still library or the books, hard copy books are the best source of developing lot of other skills where brain can be activated more. So this AI is very good, excellent. For like you said, correction of answers is good. Creating questions, yes, teachers should also get proper training. Whereas in our country, the training is lacking in every area, every area.
Very true.
We as a
Very
like
true.
from me, like I said, from generation, like I am from like 70s to now this 2025. From last 40 years, I'm into this field. So our system is different, and I was actually eager to learn. So I could adapt to a lot of things. But like she said, there are many teachers who left during because they could not cope up with the technology. This is what is there. So if the training is there, I think our teachers will be better equipped than the students to design better questions. This is what is required. Thank you.
Wonderful. So perhaps, Dr. Seema, you need to really check whether they're using the AI, because I encountered in an interview while I was asking a couple of student question, and I was amazed that if somebody asked me this question, I would not be able to answer, and how they're
Yeah.
able to really answer.
Sorry.
And later on, I figured it out. I saw a couple of videos circulating on Instagram and YouTube, where of course, an Indian kid in UK and one kid in Stanford, they build an application. And while you're asking the question, this co-pilot will really respond. And this is right sitting over there in your laptop. And you will say all of a sudden this generation has become intelligent. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of universities, China has shut down the AI for 4 days when they were conducting the examination this month only. University of Sydney, various universities in US, they have stopped any kind of online and digital assignment examination. They are going back on traditional paper and pen examination, which you used to give. So they said, okay, shut computer, shut laptop, come back to the classroom, use paper and pen,
Yes.
write down the answer.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
mobile phone, no laptop, right? And I think the world, while we are moving on one direction, on the moon, but on other direction, we are going on the traditional thing, which I think this hybrid approach is much
Hybrid
better.
approach is important,
Okay.
and like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we cannot have control. Like just to interrupt you, I've
Mm.
read like during this process, and I was reading a lot of things. So in China, they have one examination, Gaokao exam. Gaokao, I don't know how do they
Mm.
pronounce it. Gaokao exam,
Yeah,
which is
it's
after
one of
12th
the toughest
standard.
examination.
After 12th standard. So during that period, the entire city, they shut down all other electronic gadgets, AI, all the sources. So students cannot copy. This is how
Yeah.
we'll have to develop something. I think it is not possible in India. If
No, we've developed couple of
then at least
technology which Purvesh is going to really show you.
AI should not make them so dependent that without
Yes,
like now
yes.
they have without gadgets they cannot live. If there is no internet, they cannot survive. If there is no food, they can survive, but without internet, without mobile, they cannot survive. So we should not, and the like school, their younger age is the formative age where we should give them all these small, small things where they should be able to do it on their own rather than depending on technology and gadgets. So this is what my
Very
take
true.
is that.
Very true. Very true. Very true. So we'll just see the magic of AI. Purvesh is a customer experience head. He is going to walk us through the magic of AI, whatever we were discussing. I'll show you how actually AI generates questions, how AI evaluates answers, whether it is mathematics, essays, give the feedback, right? Generate the learning outcome reports. We'll watch this demo by Purvesh. Purvesh, over to you. Meanwhile, I'll request all of you to really stay back. And meanwhile, I'll request audience to please keep on writing the questions on the text box. And you can also mention the name who you want to really address this question. And after this demo of 10 minutes, we'll again come back for taking the questions from the audience, and we'll do the closing remark. We'll hear from closing remark from all the panelists for a minute or two. Purvesh, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, Purvesh, loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So again, good afternoon, and I really welcome all the respected panelists here. So we had a very informative panel discussion on how we can reclaim our time by using AI in the auto grading, and I must say this was a very detailed and well articulated panel discussion so far. For so very thank you for that, and we discuss how AI is helpful, for auto evaluation or auto grading, and why giving the feedback is way important after that. So in today's presentation, I will just quickly show you. I will have a deep dive into it, into Assessfy platform, and I will show you the same probabilities, like how Assessfy AI can help you to do the auto evaluation, to generate questions with the help of AI, to map the questions with the course outcome. So all these features I will just quickly show you from my presentation. So please allow me to share the screen and start with the presentation here. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Purvesh, please.
Yes, yeah. So this is my short agenda for today's presentation, where we'll start with the auto evaluation of the assessments. I will also show you the manual grading and the co-pilot mode that we have discussed in the presentation as well. Then how we are turning the assessment into active learning tool, okay, by providing the feedback after the assessments are done. The co-pilot mode, where we say we bring teacher at the center, helping teacher to have their insights after the evaluation. Some reports, because the results and grades are not enough, so we have some reports where we say that we map the cognitive levels of the students, some details about project based learning, and then finally assessment, a short application that we have created. So let us quickly start with the first point. And to start with the first point, I'll just have some prerequisites that are required before you do the auto evaluation. So where we start first by showing you the how the platform can help you create the AI powered competency question banks. Okay, so we know all teachers, they have their own set of questions repository with them. They can use that, upload that on the platform, but at the same time you can use Assessfy AI as well to generate the questions. So question generation with AI is not an innovation. So here I'll just quickly show you that part, but we have some thing that is on the top of that, that after the generation of these questions with the help of AI, this platform is also enabling the teachers to map these questions with the cognitive levels or the course outcome that you have decided for your course, correct? So as you can see on the screen, the system is generating this question for a Python programming, a technical course I am taken. Two questions I'm going to generate with the difficulty level of moderate, and I'm just generating the questions here. Now within a no time it will generate the questions. The main innovation happens here is that I can map these questions with the course outcome that I have linked with my course. That is the innovation that we have created. Now you can see in real situation, it is very difficult for the teachers to manually map those questions with the course outcome, to read the question text, to read the course outcome, and then to do a manual mapping is very difficult. So here it saves the time of teachers by using the platform. Now this is I'm showing you for two questions. Now just imagine if you're doing it for 200, 300 questions, how quickly it is going to do it for you, correct? So this way it helps the teachers to map the questions. So we'll just see that part as well. Okay, now you can see I'm just clicking on generate CLO. CLO is course learning outcome abbreviation for that, and now it has mapped that question with my learning outcome as well. I have used Bloom's taxonomy for this particular course here. For this example, the teacher can use their own set of course outcome as well. Now the innovation is that it is not only mapping the outcome, it is also telling you a reason why this question is mapped with this particular level. correct? So it's not working like a black box. It is telling you what details, basically why the mapping is done, correct? So here is the innovation that we have created. Now we'll go to the next step where it not only maps the AI generated questions, it can also map the human or the questions that you have generated or created. Even that questions can be mapped with the course outcome as well. Here I'm showing an example for that. So these are questions generated by the human, okay, see the manual questions, and I'm just showing you how this can be mapped with the course outcome. Okay, I can see the list of questions here, correct? Now I'm just selecting the questions, and as you can see, the learning outcome column is blank here. So now I'm just going to select few questions and map those questions with the course outcome, correct? I'll just click on generate CLO, and within few seconds, actually, it will generate. So depending upon the number of questions that you're going to use, it can take that time, correct? It will take some time to generate the outcome here. I'll just forward this to save the time. And then it will generate the map the questions, correct? So it has mapped this question as BL3 and provided the remark. Okay, so in previous example we saw for the AI generated questions, and in this example it is showing for the manual generated questions. So the mapping is very easy with this platform. We'll move to the next slide here. Yes, so once you're ready with your question banks, now the next important step comes here is to generate or create the test or assessments, correct? So for that, it supports almost all types of assessment: multiple choice, descriptive, code, oral, a mixed kind of assessment. You can separately provide an assignment as well, where you can highlight the project assignments, correct? So assignment creation of assessment is in a 3 step: creating the details about the assessment, title, description. Second step, adding the questions from the repository, and third step, adding the student into the assessment. In these simple 3 steps, you can simply create the assessments. Now we move to the next part. Once the assessment is ready, now before the students go through it, you can have a preview of that assessments as well, like previewing the question paper, correct? So while doing a preview, you can simply see which question that you have taken for the assessment belongs to which course outcome. As you can see on the right screen, CLO1, CLO2 is the short name for that course outcome, basically, that you have feed it into the system, correct? So simply you can have a preview, have a look at that. Okay, as you can see on the screen, for this particular example I'm just showing, it has some multiple choice question, it has a coding question. So in a single assessment you can provide that. Once you're ready with that, then the student go through these assessments, they submit the assessment. Then comes the important part, that is the evaluation. So we'll just in the next screen we'll see how the evaluation works here. Okay, so we'll start with a math kind of example here. As you can see on the screen, this is an answer sheet of a student, correct? And as you can see, this is submitted by the student here, and this is in a pen and paper format, correct? So you can have a physical look at this, how the answer sheet basically look like. Okay, and this is particular math example. Now before you go for the auto evaluation, you can I will just quickly show you on the top. It can be done on the basis of the rubrics that you have provided or feed it into the course. Okay, you can add rubrics course wise. Okay, and you can just create the template and you can reuse those template for every assessment. Let's have a quick look at that. So you can see this is a multi-level of rubrics that was used for this assessment: understanding of concepts, completeness, basically accuracy. All this multi-level, it can be modified or edited by you. Now how the evaluation happens, it transcript that pen and paper format or handwritten answer sheet to a digital format, and then the auto evaluation works here. So as you can see, how evaluation does it, step by step it automatically divides the answers in a logical steps. Okay, and then the correction happens. For each correct step it will provide a marks, for each incorrect step it will deduct the marks, the way human does in a traditional format, correct? And for each incorrect step it will provide a feedback and hint for the student, basically. So this complete answer sheet is available for the students after this submission or after the evaluation is done. And also at the top of that, it provides a summative feedback, correct? Like it starts with the student name, basically. Okay, so you have done this, this is a scope of improvement that you can do for this step. So the way the faculty will do it does in seconds or in a minute, I can just say. And as you can see, this particular rubrics, again, this is a innovation that we have done. Initially it was on a single level of rubrics. Now the platform can also evaluate the assessments or for multiple level of rubrics as well, as you can see on the screen. Correct. So this was the auto evaluation example for a handwritten format. Okay. Similarly, same assessment you can
So
evaluate as.
Purvesh, there is a
Yeah.
question from Dr. Krishna. Dr. Krishna, if the handwriting is bad, and as a human being you can't really read, AI will also be not able to really read. It will have the error in terms of really evaluating, and it will flag that yes, it can't really read the answer sheet and it can't really evaluate. This is how it actually works. And
Sure.
applying rubrics, because rubrics is very important to really convey to the student that on what basis you have evaluated the answer, and at the same time you need to give instruction to the AI on what basis it is going to really evaluate. And that was extremely challenging for us, but I think our team could really implement this rubric based evaluation. That was something incredible achievement from our team. Right. Over to you, Pravesh. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Similarly, you can have the manual evaluation as well for the faculties those who are not comfortable with AI. They can go for the manual evaluation. Definitely, this helps in the digitization of the assessments as well, where the faculties can manually inspect the answer sheet and provide the manual feedback and the manual remarks, as you can see on the screen how it is happening. Okay, so for the same math example, I'm just showing a manual evaluation here. Faculty can have a look at this and provide the manual grading here simply. Okay, so we'll move to the next part here. So as we were discussing of the auto evaluation, so the platform not only supports for the handwritten, it also supports the coding assessment as well. So as you can see on the screen, this is a code example, correct? So the student can go through the question. Okay, so they get a compiler to write the answer, as you can see on the screen. So they write the answer, they submit. So it is automatically saved. So you don't no need to check for the manual save here. So once they start writing the code, it will automatically save the complete code here. So this is a particular assessment is been auto evaluated by the AI. Now, as a teacher, even you can go and check whether the code has been correctly written by checking the input and output here. Correct. If I scroll more down, you can see the grades. You can see the feedback. So now this is an AI generated feedback. This is not a manual generated feedback. Again, it starts with the student name, why, where the improvement is needed, and a detailed description it provides for that. Correct. In the previous example, we saw how step-by-step analysis it was providing. In this case, in the code example, we provide an inline code review, where what it does, it checks the code step by step, and for each error or for each line, it checks the syntax errors, and in detail it tells the student where they have gone wrong. The way the teachers, the faculty will do here, correct? And then on that basis, it will show the gradings. We'll move to the next
This is
example.
particularly useful while in NEP we are trying to implement Python as a part of the curriculum. That is where it will be very helpful, where you can really give large amount of the assignments. Now there are two questions. Does platform include algorithm check? Yes, you can really, if you have the API, you can really integrate the API over here. You can use Turnitin to check the algorithm, but most of the algorithm check software, they are failing because the students have become pretty smart. They generate the answer from ChatGPT and then they go on Quillbot. They do the paraphrasing, but still, so the answer is yes. But on the ground level, checking is extremely difficult. Students forget to write question numbers, attempt the part of the answer at different location in the answer sheet. Yes, the system is intelligent to enough to really understand, and that's where you have seen the different the answer was written into different sheets, right? So this is intelligent enough to really understand where the question is finishing and whether this answer is part of the previous question or the next question. Which one? Yeah, Pravesh, go ahead next.
Sure.
Quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it also supports short answers, descriptive answers. Okay, so we can have a quick look at that. So basically, this is an answer sheet submitted by the student, and it is a short answer that was written basically. The process is same. It transcript the answers from a paper format to the digital format, and then the auto evaluation happens. We'll move to the next example here. Yeah, so again, this was the next level of innovation that we did, because we were successfully able to evaluate this big number of characters for a single answer that was more than 3,000 words. It was auto evaluated by our system. This was the requirement from one of our overseas client. Basically, they asked for the case study based evaluation from the students. Okay, where they write 3,000 plus words in a single answer. So again, the format is that it evaluates the answer, it provides a feedback, and it will provide the scope of improvement to the students. Yeah, so this is another type of evaluation that can be done, assessment, the oral assessment, correct? So in this format, the student need to record their responses in the voice format. They can go through the question, they need to record it. And you please have a look at this first.
A linked list consists of two parts, which is information and the link. In a single connected listening, the beginning of the list is marked by a unique pointer.
Yes, so what it does basically, it transcript that audio to text, and then it starts with the auto evaluation. Correct. So in this way, it supports almost all kind of assessments that are possible here. And again, the format is same: the grading, the evaluation, the feedback. Correct. So we'll move to the next screen again. Yeah, so this was the co-pilot mode that was mentioned. So basically in the co-pilot mode, how it really works. So the evaluation is done by the AI, and as a teacher, you can change the grades as well. Correct. So as you can see on the screen, this was auto evaluated by the Assessfy AI, and now you feel like the grading need to be changed. Okay, so for this particular level, I need to reduce down the marks. I can do that by changing the grade, satisfactory or unsatisfactory. And even the feedback that was provided at the below, I can change that feedback as well. Correct. So this was the AI generated feedback, and I feel like to change it, I can have a change for that as well. Yes, and it will automatically get saved. We'll move to the next slide quickly. Yeah, so after the evaluations are done, now the platform is already providing the Excel sheets, the results. Okay, but on the top of that, these reports are very important. Where the first reports that we provide is the cognitive report, where the platform is able to check the cognitive levels of the students. Okay, now after the assessments are done, the student, you're going to get the grades of the students, correct? But this platform will tell you and divide those grades into the course outcome or the cognitive levels that you have provided for the course, and tell you for which particular level the student has performed well and where the student is lacking basically, correct? So in this instance, as you can see, this is the course outcome that was used here, or the framework that was used was Bloom's taxonomy, and the student has got a good marks, but only for the first two levels. If you see for the application or the ability to analyze evaluation, the student performance was very poor, correct? So in this way, it provides a detailed cognitive report for each student after for each assessment basically. And you can review those reports after the assessments or after the evaluations are done.
So this
Then
is a
the
significant thing which we have done, because when we are conducting multiple assessments with multiple assessment tools, it becomes extremely difficult to get a bird's eye view that what kind of questions we have given, right? And generally, we have observed that most of the questions, assignment questions, are given on the lower cognitive capability. And in this AI era, it is important that we really give the higher cognitive capability assessment questions so that they also build those higher order cognitive capability. And then that's where we need to really have some data insight. And this is where Assessfy has built the world's first learning outcome measurement tool, which gives you insight to really do some interventions in the class. Move ahead, Purvesh.
sure. So this is a second report that we provide, that is the course learning outcome attainment report, where it tells you whether the attainment for that particular course is been achieved or not. So as you can see on the screen on the left side, it tells the student name, and in the center you can see what type of assessment that was used for this particular course. Again, in this case, I'm taking a reference of Python programming. Okay, so you can see the teacher has put 30% weightage as for my multiple choice, 20% for subjective, and 50% for coding. Correct. And in this respect, it tells you how the student has performed. And if I show you the second part of this report, okay, as you can see on the right side, please have a look at the right side. It tells you for each course learning outcome how the student has performed, where the green color highlights that the attainment was achieved, where the red color it tells that the attainment was not achieved. Correct. And finally it tells whether the attainment for the complete course is been attained or not. So because the platform has all the inputs, the questions that were used in the assessment, if they were already mapped with all this course learning outcome. So after the evaluations are done, maybe multiple choice or auto grading, it tells you in detail for the attainment that was achieved. Then the next report that we have is the multidimensional competency report. So now we have seen the reports that which checks the cognitive capabilities, cognitive levels, okay, and they compete the this what we say attainment report. Here we have the multidimensional report which tells you for each topic, the topic that were covered into the assessment, how the student has performed for each topic. Correct. So that way it will tell you the performance of the student, and then it will also provide the feedback after that as well. Yeah, so this is the feedback screen where you can see after the evaluations are done, it provides the feedback for the teachers as well and for the student. These are not manually created feedback. These are dynamically generated by the AI, depending upon the grades the student will receive. We move to the next part of the presentation. Yeah, so we come to the project-based learning part, where how the Assessfy AI will help you to provide the project-based learning for your students. So for that, we start with by providing the different project ideas. So we have the platform supports has a repository of different project ideas for K-12 category, for degree, for engineering, for management. So for different domains it supports, it has new ideas. So you can use those ideas for your students to provide them with the project. Okay. And then you can simply have that from this particular screen. Okay, as you can see on the screen, it supports different kind of programs. Okay, it supports different types of titles. So once you select any of the titles and just select the title from here, it tells you the detail about that, like what was the description of the project, and what is the skill set that is required to complete this project, what are the prerequisite, and the most important part, it also defines and tells you the milestone that is required to complete this project. Okay, so once you select the title here, if you scroll down, it will tell you the detail about the projects, and here is the milestone that was been required. So how much marks can be provided, how much days are required to complete this milestone. So complete detail about that each idea it will provide, and you don't need to worry about the ideas. You can use those from the repository. Next, we'll quickly see how you can generate a submission link for once you see select the project idea, how quickly you can do that, the project submission link. Yeah, again, this is a three-step simple process where you put the project title, you whether the project is a major project, a minor project, it is a portfolio project, caption project. So different type of headers that you can provide here. Correct. So I'll just quickly move forward from here. Yes, so I'll just show you an example of previously created project here. As you can see, this is an engineering project, correct? Some description about the project, some details like when it starts, what is the passing marks, total marks, correct? Even you can use picture proctoring in case of hackathons and other things. In the second step, simply the project idea that you have already selected, you can have a look at that. And even for project-based learning or project-based evaluation, you can use the rubrics as well. So you can define the rubrics and you can use that. So once you filter that data, you can see this project ideas here on the screen, correct? And any of the project ideas you can use for your students. And the important part here is that for in a single batch or in a single classroom, you can have a groups and you can provide different project ideas for different groups, basically. Yes, so this way you can select the rubrics. Yeah, sure. You can select and you can see the rubric. Yes. So we'll move to the next part. Yeah. So this is the important part where how you monitor and track the project progress of the students. This is the heart of this of this innovation, where in a single classroom, when we provide different project ideas to different groups, you can see the tracking of each group, as you can see on the screen. Correct. Now, for this particular batch, you can see what is the task progress, how many students were engaged for that project title or project idea. Correct. If you click on view result, you can see a complete screen where it shows the project idea, some details about the project that were already feeded, what was the group of the student engaged here. Okay, and on this screen you can see the submissions done by the students and what student has done what submission, and even it supports the auto evaluation in project based learning as well. Correct. So for each timeline you can have a look at that. Yeah, so this is the way you can see the submissions. Yes. We'll just quickly move to the next part. Yeah. So we come to the last point, the Assessme, basically. So the Assessme is an application that we have created which helps the students at home. Correct. So at home, if they're stuck while solving the math problems or any problem, and if they're stuck at between, they can use Assessme to solve those the issues. Okay, as you can see, we are using Assessme here to solve this problem, and now it is going to auto evaluate.
This is a wonderful application to gain the mastery. So imagine that you have taught say probability in a classroom, and now the student is solving the problem from the workbook at a home. So not everybody can really afford the tuition, so they can really go home while they're solving the solution on the paper. They just scan the solution, upload it. It doesn't give the answer, and once it uploads, it actually evaluates and tells where he went wrong, how he has performed. It breaks down logical step and give the feedback. And if a student has done some step wrong, then it will really give further practice questions and tell the theory. This is a wonderful application for students if they have to really gain the mastery at home. Thank you, Purvesh. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
So I request all the panelists to please switch on your video. Now, I think we overshot the time, but thank you so much for your patience. So let's say here 1 minute final closing note from all the panelists, starting from Dr. Seema. And meanwhile, if audience have the question, please type it on the chat box.
So, Bhupesh, thank you very much. And this presentation was wonderful, but I'm really scared it should not replace the teachers. If they start solving and learning maths questions at home. So it should not happen that it becomes online platform and online education. But yeah, AI automation can actually empower, reclaim our time, and let us use this time very wisely to lead, to inspire, and to transform education for the better. Thank you very much for this.
No, it has not been able to replace me. Every week I conduct 3 classes, but I am able to read better new research papers and able to really give the new knowledge to the student.
Yes.
So not to worry about that. Annabelle.
Me, right? Yes. Hi. Thank you so much, everybody, for inviting me to share my thoughts on AI and assessment. Of course, it should not replace what we do as teachers. We're still very valuable. Even the smile, just by looking at the kids, that's already an assessment for me, because you know how it works with the little ones. Just by being there, they're already feeling that they can conquer any mountain. So it's always important to use that time, like what ma'am said, to build that connection with our students. I also believe that personalized feedback can really empower the students to make a decision for themselves. They're very intelligent and they can definitely design the learning pathway moving forward. And of course, in the end, it is here. The future is here. So we have to run really fast. Dear educators, you have to upskill yourself. You have to find a lot of free online webinars, online training. even discussions with your coordinators, but please start the training. Nobody will give it to you. I really do motivate my teachers to continue to look out for opportunities to keep reaffirming their beliefs. AI is here in front of us, so we'll just have to embrace it with open arms. Thank you, everyone.
No, we would be extending our help in terms of really conducting any kind of workshop for the teachers. And as Anita has announced, yes, we are giving absolutely at no cost teachers empowerment under a teachers empowerment scheme. Faculty can really use and get the hands-on. Right. Dr. Pratibha.
Yes, the presentation was really enriching, and what I feel is that all of us need to invest our time into learning the new technology, into learning AI, because definitely it is going to enhance our efficiency and it is going to provide us detailed analytics, which would otherwise eat up a lot of our time. So, time to move out of the comfort zone and time to begin learning, assessing with the help of AI. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Devika ji.
Sorry. It's heartening to know that there is a lot in store for teachers in the future. The time then when the profession of teaching was supposed to be a mundane, everyday task, not so anymore. And there is a lot that we can change and improve. And I think AI is here to make us better teachers, because now we can talk about things like reflection in a classroom. I think you still need a teacher to reflect. You still need a teacher to identify the areas where learning resilience is a key ingredient in a classroom. We are still very, very relevant when it's time to teach our learners that collaboration leads to better learning. AI will definitely help them to pace their learning and understand individual areas of excellence as well as need. When it's time to bring about collaboration in the classroom, I think it will force teachers to make better use of the time that we are going to get at our hands. I look forward to a wonderful future.
Very true. Very true. Thank you so much. Dr. Robin.
Thank you so much. It was indeed a wonderful presentation of different functionalities. Hats off to the team who have worked. But yeah, upskilling, as said by other professionals, very, very needed. It has been an integral part of it, right? Before, when we need something, we go to library and search. Now it is Google search, or now it is GenAI search. So the next generation is smart. And I always say the teachers, faculty should be more outsmarted than us. I use this mantra every time. I learn something new every day, to 20 minutes something on technology, right? And this tool is very good, and how properly used is very, very important. I find even young professional teachers feel little, I'm not sure I can use that word, they're little dependent on these tools. But as a faculty, the teaching is how strong we are on the concept, how we deliver it to them. But these are just tools. But I think the younger generation should be equipped more on the content, how it is to be developed, and these are like add-ons to enhance, to reduce time on, as Deepika ma'am said, to like repeated tasks to be, the time should be cut down. And there's such a wonderful tool, and ethics is something that should be maintained. I just give a suggestion, if it is going to be incorporated in any school, any AI tools, try to have, like as we have audits like ISO audit, it is mandatory that when you use AI, an audit should be used, like to what protocol the students can use AI, to what level of AI can be used for faculties. Because when we teach outside India, they have a rule, right? If I teach more than that, it's become a penalty for us. So it cannot replace, like the technology cannot replace. They either the students or the faculty, but understanding of concept is very important. Teaching is such a noble job. But this is just giving us more aids, because the students are into the flow. When they're born with mobile phones and different tools. Hats off to the team. Thank you so much. Wonderful to have a time with you. God bless.
Thank you so much. It was a wonderful, insightful discussion. And I think you rightly pointed out, yes, we have put in a lot of guardrails, governance policy, how to use it, where not to use. Let's say, for example, in philosophy or any courses where the variability is pretty high, the creativity you need to measure, we recommend not to use AI, right? It is more suitable for the courses where the answers are deterministic or the answers are based on some framework, maybe history, physics, mathematics, chemistry, right? Those kind of areas. But anything which is related to law or philosophy, we should not be abstaining from use. I'm not saying that it can't be used, but it should not be used, right? But as we really move forward, together we will really learn. Whatever the system team has developed, it is not our brain. It is co-created with hundreds of faculty members from around the world, teachers like you, and we are committed to really work together with you for the better empowered India, better empowered students. Now, there is a question from Dr. Krishna. Do we really provide any kind of a scanning support for answer sheet? We are a product company. We don't really provide ground level support. Perhaps you can really identify some people on the ground to really extend that support, but we have other methodologies which our team can really help you how to even cut down this administrative task of the answer sheet, which a lot of our clients are doing. They got away with this administrative job. With this note, thank you so much, Dr. Seema, Dr. Annabelle, Dr. Pratibha, Devika ji,
Yes.
Dr. Robin. Thank you so much. It was wonderful discussion, enlightening conversation, and I hope that beyond this virtual platform of Zoom, I'm looking forward to meet you
Me too.
sometime in near future on physical world.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to everybody. Thank you, and bye-bye to
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
all the
Thank you
audience.
so much.
To everyone.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
all the audience.
everyone for joining. Thank you so very much.
Bye bye. Bye bye.